Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is where you are. It is the late night for me, a little bit after midnight. I want to thank you for joining me. This is Drawings to Doze Off To for the sleep-deprived, and right now I want you to take a deep breath. Lay back, loosen up, just completely untense your body and prepare to have sweet dreams. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Drawings to Doze Off To. I know it's been a while, and this time it's not actually my fault. I'll get into that in a minute. But first, I just want to say thank you so much if you're still faithfully watching the show every other Tuesday or whenever I manage to upload an episode. I know that I'm not the most dependable person when it comes to this web show, but I appreciate you guys for still coming anyway, and I really hope that it's actually helping you guys get sleep at night, especially at a time like this where so many people are struggling to get good sleep. So I just wanted to say that before we get into this drawing. And I did this drawing as soon as spooky season ended, and the reason for that was because I went through a major art block for I want to say the entirety of October and most of September. I did not draw. I started a couple of projects in the middle of September, and suddenly the block just hit me. Honestly, I don't even want to call it an art block, because it's not that the inspiration or the work or the ideas or anything wasn't there. It was more of an artistic motivation block, if you know what I mean. Like, I had all these ideas and things I wanted to get done, and I just didn't have the will to sit down and work on them. And that was the longest one that I'd had in a couple of years, and it was especially frustrating because I had just got done, working on a ton of commissions, and the whole time that I was doing the commissions, all I could think about was all of the original work that I was so thirsty to do. And then once I finally had the time and the space to do them, I couldn't find the energy. And that was confusing and frustrating. But towards the end of October, I was kind of going through my old photos in my Visco gallery. I was actually looking for something else for a completely different reason, and I happened to come across some selfies that I took on Halloween last year. And you all know that my biggest inspiration, as self-centered as it sounds, my biggest inspiration has always been myself. When people ask me, what do you do when you're kind of going through a drought and you just don't know what to work on, how do you get that inspiration back? And I always tell people two things. I either get it back when I'm Actually, I'm going to say 3 things, because it's not just me. I'm my biggest inspiration, but I'm not my only inspiration. 3 things. One thing is seeing other artists put out dope ass work really inspires me, because I'm like, I can do something that dope as well. Oh my god, this is so beautiful. I love the colors. It's making me think of this idea that I want to do. So that's one is definitely seeing other artists be amazing at what they do. The second thing is watching my own time-lapse videos. I promise you, if you record yourself drawing, working, creating whatever it is that you create, and you watch your entire process and how difficult it was and how dope it came out, and think to yourself, wow, I did that. If you do that, that video will be the gift that just keeps on giving, I promise you. Watching my own videos, watching myself work is a huge inspiration to me. And then of course the third one, which was the inspiration in the case of this piece, was looking at my own selfies, and not just any old selfies. It has to be like a look, a selfie where I was so well put together, or the pose was on point, or like my outfit and my hair was just super dope, or the color palette is like really standing out to me. It has to be something like that, and that was the case for this selfie that I referenced for this drawing, and it is called Voodoo Skeleton Witch because that is the costume that I was wearing. It was actually a full body costume, even though you can only see me from the neck up, but it was a black costume with, of course, the entire skeleton on it. And then I had a huge hat with skeleton and bones on it. And I just watched a few videos on YouTube to kind of figure out how I wanted to do my makeup. And I'm not a huge makeup person, at least not as far as actually using it myself. I don't know how to use a lot of makeup. I just I know how to fill in my eyebrows with pomade. I know how to put blush on my cheeks, line my lips, wear lipstick, and throw some highlighter on the tip of my nose or in the crease of my eyes. That is the extent to how I use makeup. So this was a task because I couldn't find any makeup for this purpose that didn't look really cheap. So I kind of just used what I had. I happen to have a really jet black matte lipstick, which I used for my nose, and I think I used it for my eyes too, actually, for around my eyes. Yeah, I think I did. And I used it for the center of my lips, the darkest part of my lips, and then for the lines coming from the center of my lips, I believe I used a black lip liner, just because they were meant to fade out, and that effect was easier to do with the lip liner pencil. So yeah, that was how this look came to be. Now, in the actual selfie, on Halloween, I went to a pop-up bar. It was a Beetlejuice pop-up at a bar, and inside there were all of these purple and pink and yellow lights, and there was a lot of smoke, and it created this effect on the side of my face when I took the picture that really made the photo pop and just take it to another level. And you guys know I'm not big on drawing things with darker color palettes. I don't like to draw darker things. I'm more inspired by bright, vibrant colors. But because this picture had all of the pink and purple and blue lights, that was what really made me want to draw it, because that was more my thing. Those colors are more my thing, and I just thought it looked so dope in contrast to, you know, all of the dark black on my face. So when I saw that photo in my Visco gallery, I was like, I had all of these ideas for spooky season pieces that I wanted to get done. Didn't do any of them. This wasn't a thought in my mind, but suddenly I really want to do this. So I just completely disregarded all of the work that I didn't get done in October, that I was really disappointed at myself about. And I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and do this, you know. It was actually the day after Halloween when I started this. If you watch the short time-lapse version that I already uploaded, it was like a draw with me version of a time-lapse, and that was because this piece was actually my first art stream. I kind of touched on it in the last episode that I started streaming on Twitch back in April, and in September I actually started streaming from PC, so I was able to start doing art streams. And so this piece that I started on November 1st was my first official art stream, and it was amazing. I couldn't have been more happy with the turnout and how I used my time and how I I stuck with it. Usually when I'm just drawing at home, just drawing and recording, I'm taking a million breaks and getting way less done in one day than I could. And with this piece, I feel like because I did it on stream and I had people watching me the whole time, I didn't take any breaks, and I just kind of sat back, chilled, turned the spooky music on, and I just went. I just did it. I didn't stop. I didn't lose focus. I just kept going. And part of the reason for that is because it was such a fun piece to do. It was very fun. I had a great time doing it, and it really brought me out of my slump that I was in. But streaming myself drawing definitely made me work harder and work nonstop instead of, and it's okay to take breaks. I don't want to make anyone think that there's something wrong with taking breaks, but I just feel like my work ethic was a lot better being live and having people watching me and thinking I don't want to keep them waiting, just stopping every 5 minutes to look at my phone for no reason, to just scroll Twitter or something. So I happened to get this piece done in 15 hours. 12 of those hours were on stream, and then I did 3 off stream because I only stream art 4 days out of the week. And that's why it's it is cropped. There's more of a zoomed in view on this version than on the draw with me version, because I didn't want you guys to see me on the side and the chat box on the side. I know you guys can still see the alerts popping up. Unfortunately, I couldn't do anything about that, but I don't think it's, it's too bothersome. But yeah, once I get to the last 3 hours of the piece, it'll be more of a zoomed out view. You'll be able to see more of it. I think that one of the biggest concerns that artists have when it comes to art slumps, especially ones that last particularly long, is that we kind of worry that once we start trying to draw again, once we finally get that inspiration or motivation back, that we won't be able to. And in the past, that has happened to me, where I didn't draw for maybe 2 or 3 months, and when I was finally ready to draw again, it was like I was almost a beginner again. It scared me. Like, I honestly thought that I would never draw again. I thought that my skills were just gone and I would have to relearn them completely. Technically, I did have to relearn them, but it wasn't like, relearning them all the way from the beginning when I first started. It was just like kind of having to do the same class over that I just completed. So it was like working on something when things were still fresh, and therefore it only took me maybe a few weeks, a month or something like that to get back to where I was before. A month of consistent drawing. But I was scared. Let me tell you, I really thought my art career was over. And when I started this piece, it had been about a month and a half since I had drawn anything. And even though I hadn't had that problem in years where I would struggle whenever I came back to drawing, there's always that fear. But everything went so well. I couldn't have been more happy with how things were going. I mean, it was like I never put my pencils down. Even working on something that I had never done before, which is the pumpkins in the photo. I've never drawn a pumpkin before. So I was kind of trying to figure out how to do the shading to make the lines in the pumpkin look realistic instead of so flat. And I definitely struggled with that first pumpkin. And you'll see when I show the finished product that the first pumpkin looks a little different from the rest. But after that first one, I started to figure some things out, and I'll go and start on the next ones, and I'll go back over them and fix things once I pick certain things up. And eventually I was able to get it right. Not perfect, but much better than before. As much as I enjoyed doing this art stream, I have no idea when I'll be able to do it again. This week was supposed to be the second week of art streams, but unfortunately things happened in my life that are kind of hindering me from getting certain things done, including streaming. I'm making the most of it, still working on other things, and trying to look on the positive side. I figure if I'm not streaming, I have more time to get projects done, not just drawing, but also writing and other work, because streaming does take up a pretty big part of what I do. Just mentally preparing for it alone is a lot. Even though I enjoy it, I do like to kind of perfect everything that I do. So I put a lot of time into making my stream, close to perfect. And I'm unable to stream right now, so there won't be any art streams. I can't really say for how long. I'll definitely keep you guys updated. I'm still figuring some things out, and I may actually be able to stream video games still. So you can still follow me on Twitch. The link is going to be in the description box as always. And like I said, I'll definitely keep you guys updated. When these unfortunate things that recently happened first occurred, I was describing it as my life being turned upside down yet again. But even though that is true, I had to remind myself that every other time that my life has been turned upside down, it ended up being for the best, and things began turning around for me really quickly. I feel like whenever I get too comfortable in one spot, the universe just likes to shake things up in any way that they can to kind of force me to get out of my comfort zone and make things happen for myself, because I should be doing more and I could have more. I could have everything that I want out of life, and deep down I know that. And I feel like a lot of the time I'm just too anxious to actually go for it. And that's when the universe swoops in and, they don't give me a choice. So that's basically what's happening right now. And it's not easy. Change is never easy. And, I am kind of dealing with a lot all at once, but like I said, deep down I know that things are gonna turn out the way that they should, and in a way that I'm going to be happy, I'm going to be abundant, and I'm going to be loved, and I'm going to have everything that I want. And I'm going to keep telling myself that, and I'm going to keep working towards that. And hopefully if there's anybody watching this and listening to me who kind of feels like they're going through the same kind of changes right now, hopefully you can also tell yourself that and believe it. So guys, this drawing is coming to an end. This original piece is for sale on my shop. I'm still contemplating whether I want to make prints, but I may very well make stickers, little spooky stickers. But the original is definitely for sale, and it's actually on sale right now, as are all of my original pieces until the end of the year. Every original piece in my shop, every single one, no matter what size, no matter what medium, they are all only $100 each right now when you use the code CRY at checkout. Prints are also on sale right now. They are all 30% off until the end of the year when you use the code BLUESAWAY at checkout. And that's gonna be the end of this episode. I hope you guys enjoy my voodoo skeleton witch. I hope you guys got some wisdom from this episode, and me talking your ear off. And I really hope that you guys have sweet dreams.